Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi, I'm Garrett Knudsen. I am in my third year of the doctoral program. So I'm looking forward to interviewing you.
I'm Shannon, and I'm looking forward to you interviewing me too.
So let's get going. So the first question is talk about your interest in getting a doctorate. What motivated you to enroll in a doctoral program?
So, my main interest in getting a doctoral degree was to potentially be a faculty member one day. I really enjoyed my master's program in higher ed with a concentration in intercollegiate athletic administration. So, through that process, I thought it would be cool to be able to get a doctorate and then be able to teach sport management or higher ed or athletic administration to future generations coming up. Um, what motivated me to get that? I think I've been at UNCW now for 6.5 years, but when I started the program, I was there 4.5 years. And I just think it was the right time in my career. I had my job um, pretty much taken care of. I knew what I was expected to do, and I wasn't like a rookie anymore. So I knew it was expected of me, and it was just the perfect time in my personal life and in my professional life to start the doctorate degree.
Awesome, awesome. So the second question: in what ways has being a doctoral student contribute to your growth? It can be professional or personal.
I think it's contributed, I'll do both. So, contributed to my personal growth. It just challenged me to really motivate myself when not necessarily I want to motivate myself. On a Sunday, I would much rather just watch football, but I have to do research or write or read or whatever the case may be with my homework assignments. So, that really just challenged me internally. Um, to kind of get that internal motivation to be successful in the program. But I'm very goal oriented and I really like a challenge. I really like to do things that a lot of people don't necessarily do, like run marathons, get a doctorate, do it both at the same time. So I really like that challenge, and that's something I always like to work for. I don't like to get complacent, and I always like to do something to better myself as an individual. I think professionally it helped me because I work directly with higher ed. I'm an academic advisor for student athletes. So some of the things that we learn about and we read about through our coursework has really impacted my career, whether that's best ways to work with students or just hopefully being an administrator or a faculty member someday, taking a different perspective look at higher education as a whole and seeing how maybe athletics plays a role in higher education, but just how a lot of other things play a role, like diversity, financial means, the way we serve our students, kind of everything else that encompasses a university, the academic profession that it exists today. So all of that stuff kind of contributed to me professionally where I'm at my third year in the doc program. So I hope to continue to grow and see where it takes me after I graduate and do my dissertation.
Yeah, you mentioned that diversity within athletics is important to you. Can you kind of tell me like why this is important to you, or like where um, that push for a diverse athletic department stemmed from?
I think it could go a lot of ways. I think our institution as a whole lacks diversity, whether that's with students, faculty members, and staff. So I think with the world of athletics, a lot of times people see maybe just diversity based on the color of people's skin. And I don't think that diversity is just based on race and ethnicity. It's a lot of other different things, socioeconomic status, religion, everything along those lines plays into diversity. But I think UNCW as a whole um, struggles with diversity. So I think athletics does play a role in that somehow, one way or another. I don't know exactly how they play a role, whether it's just the students that are on the teams, the perception of diversity. But I think through kind of our coursework and stuff, we learn about like the appropriate ways to address diversity and the conversations that need to be happened and everything that kind of goes into higher education and what we need to value as an institutional level to see what is important. And of course, diversity is important, but is athletics end all be all to solve the diversity issues on a college campus like UNCW? I personally don't think so. I think there's other ways that the university could go about that, and that is not a sole UNCW athletics problem to solve.
Yeah. So you mentioned it's issue at UNCW. Have you seen this at other institutions you've been at as well?
At Minnesota it was a little more diverse, probably because that's in the north, but at the University of Oklahoma, it's a major issue. Oklahoma is not a diverse state based on race, but or religion or a lot of things. And I see with athletics, they have that diversity component, and a lot of the students come from a wide array of backgrounds and from the United States and different parts of the world, and that was an issue. A lot of those students struggled with adapting to Norman, Oklahoma, just based on the culture that's in Norman, and they could be from Dallas, Texas, and grew up in a completely different neighborhood than in Norman, Oklahoma. So I saw that struggle, and I think that it's not just a UNCW problem. I think it's a national problem. It's a societal issue problem, not just in higher ed, but in K through 12, and just in the society that we have today. Race specifically is a major issue that our country is facing and has been faced with since its existence.
What are you most looking forward to learning as you complete your doctorate? I know you said you're in your third year, but with the few classes you have left or in the dissertation, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward to completing my dissertation and walking across the stage. But kind of doing that whole dissertation process, I think a lot of times we hear the negative and that it's this big beast, and kind of just accomplishing that and not trying to eat the whole elephant at once and taking it step by step, and using my resources, using the faculty members to help me ask questions when I can. So that's kind of the next thing that I'm looking forward to it, but then I'm looking forward for it to be over. So it's kind of like a balancing act, but kind of just going through that process, because everyone, in higher ed talks about the dissertation if they're in their doctorate, and it's kind of like you want to experience it yourself, but you don't want to like fail. So hopefully that works out. So it's kind of just another challenge ahead of me.
So the last question we have is, what else would you like to share about your experience pursuing a doctorate?
I think a lot of people kind of look at a doctorate like, oh wow, like you must be really smart or really know how to write or very philosophical thinking and whatnot. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. Not that I'm like discrediting my own intelligence, but I think it's just a matter of how motivating you are and how working you are to go after something that you want. I don't think that you have to be like this Harvard undergraduate to get a doctorate. I think a lot of people put it kind of on a pedestal, so a lot of people don't necessarily go after it. But I think people that are in our profession that do want to grow personally and professionally should look into getting their doctorate in higher ed or whatever they're interested in, because it's, looking back, I think on my first year, it was really stressful. I was doubting my writing ability and doubting a lot of things, but now looking back, it's like, oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, but yeah, I'm sitting in the airport doing this right now, but it's kind of just like making that time and making that a priority. I think it's challenging. I don't have any kids or family, so I think it's challenging maybe for people that do have younger children. It might be hard to kind of find that time, but for people that want to go after it, like do it, 100% do it, apply and just do it. It's going to be worth it. It's a great experience.
I agree. I think it's something that you can not only further your learning, but it definitely shows your commitment to setting goals and achieving something that you're passionate about as well. That's all the questions I have. I want to thank you. I know you said you're in the airport right now, but I want to thank you for your time.
Yep. Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye.